I'm in the town of Paradise, California today, home of the devastating Camp Fire that occurred about 17 months ago, actually 19 months ago. And I'm going to check out the rebuilding, see if I can get some interviews. It was the deadliest and costliest fire in California's history, and 86 souls were lost. May they rest in peace. And it was the costliest disaster in the world in 2018. So let's see how they're rebuilding and let's see what's going on. I'll keep you up to date. Talk to you in a bit. Well, the first thing I notice as I drive through town here is that there are no more burned out cars. There were, last time I was here, hundreds of burned out cars. So it looks like they cleaned up so far. I can see the town pretty well. And I'm just happy to see there's lots of trees standing because they were chopping down lots of trees last time I was here. So, and of course it's very early morning, Sunday, so there's not much action on the streets, but hopefully we'll spend a couple hours here and see what's going on. What I never understood is why they would chop a tree of that size down. It's obviously not dead, and this looks like the first either business or home under construction, but this doesn't make any sense that they would chop a tree like that down unless it's for the money. That looks like a business to me. Let's turn left and see. Bridge lives on is a lot of the sayings that go along here. Yeah, this is the home. It's going to be a nice home. And look at that carving. That is a beautiful carving someone made of a tree. Love it. Isn't that gorgeous? And they made a little bench there out of that one. See, just the outside of it was burned. That's why I don't understand why they're chopping all the trees down. These trees would live through forest fires many times before. Beautiful. So along the road, I see a lot of stump grinding services signs, a lot of tree service signs. See that tree there in the distance has been burned. These are some of the trees that have been cut down. Here we have a temporary mill operation where they're logging in the trees, grinding them up, chopping them up, making sawdust, I imagine. Many times you'll just find a sign where there was a business, only the sign remains, and it's an empty lot. The restaurant used to be there, an empty lot, and a for sale sign. A lot of empty gas stations, just with the awning. And another sign, and no business. And Burger King, no more. Signs survive, the buildings do not. I used to shop right there. This is Posey Lane. I put a bid on a house a couple years ago, just before the fire, and luckily they didn't accept my offer. This was lined with homes, and the person that did buy the house moved in the day before the fire and lost everything. And this looks like the first house to be rebuilt because there were no homes here. So this is the first one to rebuild. Like the COVID disaster, we always get through everything. So this is my daughter's home, and the only way I recognize it because this beautiful gate that they installed, the electric gate, was an electric gate. And this is what's left. A couple of trees. Someone built a fence, a very nice fence. Their neighbor, because it's on both sides of that property. This is what's left of their home. They lost everything, as thousands did. There's a house in the distance that made it through it, I guess. But people are rebuilding. It was a terrible fire. Large tree roots make for great furniture. Burl. So someone's probably gonna create tabletops and what have you out of these roots of some big trees. This is a neighboring road. These are all homes. No longer just a desolate area. All the homes are burned here. Lots of tree stumps. Vacant lots. And we have a tree grinder in action. Grind it away. Well, everybody, I found two fantastic human beings in the town so far, Rick and Barbara, and they own an antique shop called Treasures of Paradise. Treasures from Paradise. So these treasures were carved here?
They were.
And were they carved from?
They're carved from burnt wood from the campfire.
Oh, they were carved?
Yes.
Because you had, before the fire, you had some statues as well.
We did.
Yeah. And I understand you had a business before this, before the fire.
We did.
And it burned down.
And it burned down. It was a 10,000 square foot building with 26 vendors, and everybody lost everything.
With fenders, what do you mean?
Vendors. All of the stuff in this store doesn't belong to us. We rent out space to people. It's like a consigned shop.
Okay. So what do you mean by fenders? You mean car fenders?
No, vendors. Vendors, V-E-N.
Oh, vendors.
Vendors. That's what we had at the other store. This store, believe it or not, it's only 1,500 square feet. We've got over 40 vendors in this store.
Okay. On consignment. They bring their goodies in here?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
They bring their products in here and we sell for them.
Well, you got a great location right on the corner.
We've got an excellent location.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best in Paradise.
So did you live in Paradise at the time of the fire?
We live sort of at the bottom of the hill going into Chico.
Okay.
So our house was spared.
And can you tell me your recollection of the November 8th?
We woke up and thought it was a rainy day because it was so cloudy and overcast, and that was like at 6:30 in the morning. And when we found out that there was a fire, we tried to come up here at 8 o'clock that morning, and we were not allowed to come into Paradise. And we didn't know, like a lot of other people, until many days later whether we had lost our business or not.
Oh. And that wasn't this business, though. It was a different business, somewhere else.
Business.
Okay.
Different.
Because and I guess 86 people perished.
That's the count that they had.
And I'm told it's very, very low.
I think it is.
Yeah. And I've seen some big conspiracy. I don't know if you've watched any shows on the Paradise Fire, but there's a lot of very strange occurrences that happen.
There are a lot. There's a lot of different theories out there as to how the fire started, why it started, who was behind the fire. A lot of different things, including outer space people.
Well, I've seen laser beams, pictures of laser beams, and you know, a forest fire burns at a set temperature. I'm not sure what it is, 1,800 degrees or whatever, and that doesn't burn and melt alloy. You know.
This fire reached temperatures in excess of 5,000 degrees.
So that's what doesn't make sense. Because forest fires don't burn that hot.
No.
So how do you explain that?
You don't.
What's your explanation after all said and done?
I've never decided in my own mind what it could have been or what it is. I'm leaning on the fact that it's a fire that started. How it started is still to be determined, and it just was a monster that came alive and burned everything in its path.
Well, they did lay blame to PG&E, and that's where the lawsuits are. And are they settling? Are they paying people? Do you know?
They haven't paid anybody yet.
Really, no one.
They're in the process of debating with lawyers and with judges as to what they will or won't pay and when they will or won't pay. Hasn't been done yet.
What's the most bizarre thing that sticks in your mind from the whole experience?
Oh man, I think the fact that nobody wants to believe that it actually happened. It burnt 3 football fields every 10 seconds.
Yeah, that makes much sense.
Fires don't burn that fast, but there was growth up here, hundreds of years of undergrowth. They never cleared it out, ever.
Oh.
And it was primed. They'd said for years Paradise was primed for a fire. This was expected by a lot of people, but not to the extent that it burned.
I saw a city council meeting 6 months prior of a lady standing up and said there was going to be a fire that's planned. She said it on the record, and it's on video.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, that was a good video. There's a lot of stuff out there. People, it's the past. I don't like to live in the past myself, but now that I'm traveling through Paradise, I want to get a first-hand account, of what's what.
This town is on its way back. I don't know that it's going to make it back to what people want it to in even the next 5 years. I don't think so. I think it's a 10-year build-out. I think the last count last week was they've issued 1,000 building permits. They've got, I think the count was 200 stick homes in construction and numerous manufactured homes.
Right.
So businesses are coming back, not as fast as I think people would want them to, but the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, has slowed the businesses opening up.
And it was like a catch-22.
Yeah.
Without the businesses aren't going to rebuild unless there's people here. And the people aren't going to come back unless there's a business to have, buy food. And
we have conversations with people that have come back up here just to visit, that lost their homes, that will never come back. They say they cannot come back and face the nightmare. They can't do it.
Yeah. Well, whenever I visited, it was an idyllic place. I still think it's kind of idyllic, and I always say, who doesn't want to live in paradise?
Really?
It was paradise. It really was.
It was. Yep.
Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Good luck with your business. It's nice that this is part of history. Oh, well, one last thing. I noticed that, they chopped down, half the forest here, and a tree can burn on the outside and not die.
That's true. And they still got, what was it, Barb, 300,000? They have earmarked over 300,000 more trees to be taken out.
And don't you suppose that's a little bit of a money deal? That's worth money? A lot of money?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's worth a lot of money.
Yeah. No, I mean it is, but we don't know where they're all going to. Some people say it's being sold to China.
Yeah, it's being sold. There's no question it's being sold. We live in a greedy world, and the powers that be, they seem to get things done.
You're right.
For more money.
Yeah.
And that's why the Be Fantastic movement is so important.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back with Rick, and we're talking about rude drivers that are not fantastic. And, I usually attest rude driving to cities, big, large metropolises. But Rick says in this little town of Paradise, you've got some horn honkers. What's the deal with that?
We have an intersection right here in front of our store, and I think 50 times a day you'll hear horns honking. You look out there, and there's a car that just hasn't moved the minute that the light turned green, and the car
No, the second.
Yeah,
Not the minute.
Second. Yeah, the second. And the car behind him, the guy lays on the horn. When they go around the corner, he passes him as fast as he can, gives him that you're number one in my life, and off they go. Why? What did it hurt? 1 second? Why? I don't understand it.
It's the insanity of humanity.
You're right.
And
You're right.
to be in a hurry, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And it's stressful.
It is. That person that's laying on that horns, he's going to die from stress a year from now
Yeah.
if he makes it that long.
Yeah. Stress kills.
You're right. I know that for a fact.
And when you say you're fantastic, you live less stressful. By the way, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
You are. And I'm so glad we agree on the driving, because it's
Yes.
like it's so idiotic.
It is.
And it's literally 2 seconds. And I tell a lot of people, if you don't let that person, most people don't do good things unless there's a reward.
Right.
All right. So if you let that person in, knowing that he's going to interview you in about 10 minutes, you would do it in a heartbeat.
Sure.
And imagine if you didn't do it and then he's interviewing you. How bad you're going to look?
Oh, you're going to look real terrible.
Real terrible. You're not going to get the gig.
That's right.
So be kind.
That's
Be considerate. Be friendly. But most of all, be fantastic.
There you go.
Thank you, Rick.
You bet.
Bye. That's perfect.
All
So
right.
did you happen to see the Ronnie Howard documentary last night? About Paradise?
Rick keeps coming up with these jewels. Rick tells me he's one of the first businesses to open.
Open back up in Paradise after the fire.
And how long was that after the fire?
We were open 2 months after the fire?
2 months.
No?
April 1st.
April 1st.
April
Yes,
1st,
we opened
2000.
April Fool's Day.
Okay. And it's not like people need what you have here.
No.
But you see business was fantastic?
Our business is absolutely fantastic. It's coming from up above. It's a little power higher
We've
than
been
we
blessed.
are.
And positive thinking doesn't hurt either, right?
Absolutely.
We have been blessed.
We've blessed. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you, Rick.
You bet.
So what was the name of the gentleman that did this, you say?
Oh my goodness.
You don't know the name? But he went around to all these
His name
sites
is
and...
Shane Grammer.
Shane Grammer, and he before they tore them all down, I guess he went and did these things.
He
Huh?
did. They were all over this town.
Wow. And this one here. They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Amazing. This is their building.
Oops.
10,000 square feet?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's the morning of the 8th, November 8th.
Actually, this was
at
like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
There's our store burning up.
And they gave me this beautiful book. I see, I can't get any luckier in life to meet people like yourself. And it's
Yeah, there's-
amazing.
That's the morning of. Rick went outside.
That was in our backyard, and that's how dark it was. And we're 18 miles away where we live from the fire.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And I don't know if I'll ever know the truth, you know.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, there was so much so many theories going around, but you don't.
What's
know.
your favorite theory? Or when if you had to vote for the most logical?
Well, there's only one man who was in control, and that was God.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people will say,
Well, they say we shouldn't let bad things happen, right, God?
right. But
What are you looking for on there?
I don't know now.
Okay. You were looking for the picture of the beast.
Yes, I was.
The beast. What's the beast?
The beast is a picture of
Of a cloud.
of the firestorm,
Oh.
but you can see the devil in it, plain.
Oh,
as
really?
day. Oh,
Wow.
there it is. There it is.
That's the blown up version. I have to go back.
I love the tree carving down the street there.
Yes.
The house is being built. That's gorgeous.
Okay, I have one that's smaller. I don't, because there's the mouth, there's his nose, eye,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the cloud coming over.
Oh yeah, look at that. That is a beast.
We had that painting in here, and we sold it for, I think it went for $200.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
People would look at it. Some people would look at it and say, "I can't look at this."
Fine.
Right.
I
Well,
can't
it's
use-
pretty evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a horrible thing. Well, everybody, there you go from a wonderful store in Paradise. It was the name of the store again.
Treasures from Paradise.
Treasure, and these two are treasures from Paradise, but they live in Chico. But they're at least working in Paradise.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Always.
Presentation is brought to you by Via Drinks. Live the Via life. Proactive hydration, low calories, delicious taste. You'll love it. It's fantastic. Overpopulated cities around the world have caused people to become a greedy, selfish, and litigious society. Would you like to be happier, live longer, never be forgotten, and help make the world a kinder, more civil place? It's actually easier than you think. Every day you're asked, how are you? Instead of saying good, say I am fantastic. It will make you look better, feel great and reduce your stress. Making the world a better place starts with each person. Please join the Be Fantastic movement today. What you want to be, you can be. Be fantastic.
I met Dr. Fantastic along life's way, and I heard him say, "You are fantastic, yes you are. You are fantastic.